Today we're going to get a look at the changes to Sargon, the 7K gem event that's around the corner, and all the other things that were released in the official Rise of Kingdoms videos on 4 different official Rise of Kingdoms YouTube channels. And although I'm traveling for work, I've still got the news for you, so stick around for everything you need to know. Hello my friends and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming, and although the setting around me is a little bit different, I brought my old recording setup with me to be able to bring you these videos while I'm traveling for the holidays. So if you like Rise of Kingdoms guides and videos designed to help you get value and smash your enemies, consider smashing that subscribe button and throwing a like on the video so that you don't miss out on the latest and greatest news pretty much any time of year for Rise of Kingdoms. So let's get started on what's in this update, and the first thing that we've got to get a look at is the 7K gem event. I predicted that this would be here based on the patch notes we got earlier this week, and it's on its way. But not only is the 7K gem event here, that of course means also that there is an epic city theme, and we even have a Zenith of Power legendary city theme. So if we get a look at the epic theme, this is giving you 5% archer health at the cost of 5% infantry defense. This is a very strong theme. If you are using archers primarily in the open field, or you're rallying or garrisoning with archers, this is the theme you're looking for. Alternatively, the freaking legendary theme is 15% cavalry defense. Now, this is a Zenith of Power theme. Zenith of Power themes are extremely difficult to obtain. You're going to need to gain a ton of power in the designated window, and in most continents, that's right, you're competing with a continent. That's, by the way, 8 total kingdoms. You're looking at like 40 million power gain in a very, very short, like 5-day window. So most people probably don't have what it takes to win this event. I am not going to go for the Cavalry City theme. And the thing I really wanted to talk with you about here is that the game is pushing you to specialize. There's so many things now that you need to specialize with if you want to rally or if you want to garrison. Now, if you are in a continent where this is obtainable for you for a more reasonable amount of power gain, and you think you can go for it, and you're just going to use it in the open field, that's fine. The things that you're losing here are 5% infantry defense and 5% archer health. So if you really had a lot of cavalry marches and only like 1 march of infantry and 1 march of archers, then you could go for this theme, and it would be an overall upgrade. So you could do that for open field, but again, I am not going to go for this, even though I will at some point rally calves. I will at some point garrison calves. I don't have the speed ups to run every troop type, and even then, the armament system is coming into the game very soon. I'm going to talk about that more in just a minute here. But there's going to be really special inscriptions, and you're going to have to pick a troop type all over again to focus on. And I just don't think I can focus on multiple troop types at a time. And I spent a lot in this game. So all of that said, good luck to you as you hunt for your Zenith City theme. I personally am not going for this one. The epic theme will come with the 7K gem event, so that's great news. Going to be very easy to obtain. If you haven't saved your 7,000 gems, start saving gems now, because you just get a ton of extra rewards for doing the same things you were going to do anyways. And you can spend some AP to get some more progress on that. Now, the other event that's coming back around that we had about this time last year, maybe it was Easter time frame, is something that looks like a team draw event where you pick some commanders and you get a really ridiculous amount of sculptures for those commanders. I mean, I got a ton of sculptures for my chosen commanders the last time this event came around. Now, probabilities change around, the way events work change around, so I don't promise exactly how this works, but I'll have a card up in the top and in the end screen reminding you or showing you what this looked like the last time, and I got a shocking amount of sculptures. I want to say that I spent like $385 and got like 120 to 180 sculptures or something like that. I might be misremembering, so check out the video at the end of this one. This event coming back is pretty exciting if you're spending. From here, I want to talk about the Commander Rebirth Ceremony. If you're in a very, very young kingdom, like brand new to the game, 15 days or younger, you can reset one of your commanders. I think this will be nice for people who make some mistakes very early on. I wish that we had commander resets everywhere. Lilith, if you're listening, please do this everywhere. That'd be amazing. But I understand why that isn't everywhere. You make investments. Those are supposed to be long-term investments, but the reality is that with the way the meta changes and the way the power creep works in this game, like, I think we've all got some commanders that we really regret and don't use anymore. So hopefully they either become relevant or we can reset them and reclaim those sculptures. The next thing that I've got in the list is that they mentioned a new event for armaments. I think this is going to be a gem event. They didn't explain or show pictures of any of the details really beyond the one that I have here of how exactly this is going to work. I think they mentioned that some number of draws and you're getting legendary and epic armaments. If you're not familiar with armaments, it's basically random draws for a boost you put on your marches that gives stats. That's like a really simple way to think of it, but if you want a fully detailed video giving you everything you need to know, card will be in the end screen and also up top. From there, they mentioned the Autarch's special chest where you can draw rewards and pick some commanders that you really want to focus on. Depending on whether you had an Autarch or a Vindicator rank will determine how many commanders you can elevate the probability for in this chest. And it looks like you're paying 3,600 gems a pop to pull 3 commanders at a time. And the commanders that you choose do seem to have different probabilities. In this particular image that I grabbed from the Portuguese YouTube channel for Rise of Kingdoms, they had chosen Nevsky, which is why his probability is elevated. And it does look like you're getting 3 sculptures at a time, and there's a limited number of draws that you can do in total. Now, personally, like if I'm spending gems for commanders, I really want to know which commander I'm getting, and I don't know what happens if you get a commander you already have. Like, I don't want to spend gems on anything that gives me a probability of having commanders I already have, and that's worthless. And although the probability for any one commander is low, I don't know. There's only so many gems to go around. There's only so many gems you want to buy, which means I really like focus. So we'll see when the event comes how focused this list is, or if I'm really going to be ending up with a bunch of Solomon, and I'm not interested in that, or commanders I already have like Pakal. So I'll be eager to see exactly how this works when it arrives. From here, they added a Sunset Canyon tournament. And my impression is that this is only for like brand new sort of realms or kingdoms that are in like the KVK, I guess really just like pre-KVK 1 stage, though, leading up to KVK Season 1. So I'm surprised to see all these details about it, but they've got the Sunset Canyon tournament. It's played over the course of several weeks, and there are rewards that include legendary commander sculptures, 5 if you're in first place, then 2 if you're in second place, 1 if you're in third or fourth. Otherwise, it's just a bunch of gold keys. So this reward is not too crazy. I don't think people need to go nuts trying to win in Canyon. Like, you're just not going to. Only one person is among, a kingdom, and actually it's a group of kingdoms. And your whole alliance gets some rewards, which is kind of cool if you rank. And I think first or second, but it's like silver keys and a small amount of speed ups. So it's like cool, but like, you really don't need to worry about, oh my gosh, I need to revamp my Canyon team. The place that you need to focus on is your open field commanders. And if you're a rally leader garrison, then of course your rally leader garrison and equipment and all that stuff. But otherwise, just focus on value in the open field. Don't get distracted by Canyon, which really is not giving all that many rewards, whereas your open field is a huge multiplier for your speed ups and your resources. Focus all your attention there. And from here, let's focus our attention on the changes to Sargon. So for days, have been talking about how Sargon is a crucial open field commander. And that is because the second skill said that you were inflicting odd, which is his huge debuff that makes it so that the target takes more skill damage when attacking the target. But the wording is changed. And the change in this wording is actually really subtle, but really dramatic in its effect. So the new wording on Sargon says, when dealing skill damage, this commander's troop has a chance to inflict a stacked of odd. Well, wait a minute. Before it said when attacking. So every second that you were hitting the target, you were stacking that 3% skill damage taken debuff onto the target. But now, when dealing skill damage is really weird. And there's a lot of theories about how good or bad this could be. In a worst case scenario, when Sargon's active skill triggers, you would only get 1 sort of stack of odd, because that only counts as 1 time that you've done skill damage. I've heard that interpretation, and people are speculating that it's in these Chinese servers and that works that way there. And I'm going to do some testing tonight. We're going to see exactly how this works, okay? But in a more optimistic look, that you would be doing skill damage every single time the active skill on Sargon triggers. So as a reminder, Sargon buffs himself. Over the next 5 seconds, you're going to do skill damage to the target every second. So I think that this would count as 5 triggers over the 5 seconds of using your active skill, okay? But what we don't know is how many times you'll get triggers from passive skills from the secondary commander, for example. Because this is a really big deal for determining how many stacks of odd you're going to get. Now, let me just jump in and say this is not as good as the original version of the language, which said when attacking, okay? Which would have meant that every single turn, you get 1 stack, which is pretty cool. By the way, you might hear my kid in the background. We're getting ready to visit some family, and it sounds like she's singing some songs. So enjoy her serenading in the background here. So when we look at Skippy Prime, on his 3rd skill, there's a chance to get instant proc damage dealt to the target. Now, I don't know if this would count as 1 trigger or as sort of 3 instances of damage being dealt, because it happens over 3 seconds. But if you could get this stacking at the same time that you have your stacks going from your active skill on Sargon, now things at least get a little more interesting, where on certain turns you could be getting 2 and 3 stacks of odd from skill damage, because you could have Skippy do his active skill, you could have Sargon have his active skill running, and you could have an instant proc damage over time running, and that could last for up to 3 seconds. So I don't know exactly how this combo is going to work, but I will be testing it. But I think my big concern is that before I was looking at Sargon, and I would have said, yeah, like Sargon is a staple open field commander. I think I ranked him like 7th or so overall for open field goodness, off of the goodness of this skill, because the first skill is not one that you really aspire to have for the open field. You really don't want damage to be dealt over time. You want it fast. You want it instant proc, so that if this had been instant proc onto the enemy and they were taking damage over time, that actually would make it better. Because then if an enemy walks away from you, too bad. They're still getting hit with the damage over time, But you'll notice when I open field fight, there's often many seconds where I'm stepping away from an enemy, swinging back in, just to rearrange the position of my marches. Card will be up in the top. You can watch me do that for like 8 hours straight in Kingsland. And you'll notice that I step away from a target very frequently. So, I would guess that I only get 1,000 to 1,500 damage factor off of Sargon from his active skill in those instances. So I think Sargon might be heavily moving in the direction of being more of a rally commander purely off the change of this skill, but it's absolutely going to depend on whether or not you could just pair with Skippy Prime and get huge value. If you can, it could be way better than it looks. But overall, I would say this one change to the wording makes him look a lot more like a rally commander, which means as this wheel comes around, just wait till the test results, and we'll talk about how good he is or isn't. I'm probably going to be expertising Sargon very quickly, and Tarek Ibn Ziyad this weekend. So subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm going to have cards in the end screen, as I promised. For example, you can get more information about the Team Draw event. Those will show up in just a second. So thanks again for throwing a like on the video, and I'll see you this evening for the live stream.